Hello, it's been a little bit since I've made a sit-down video like this, but something that my friend said the other day kind of got me thinking. And by the other day, I mean like literally a month ago, because they said this during Golden Week, which is the first week of October here in China, and we're more than a week into November, so it was a month ago. But for that week, for Golden Week, we have off, so I don't have to go to school or anything. And my friend, I met them for dinner, and they were like, so what'd you do this week? Like, what'd you get up to? And I was like, I kind of just did something I didn't really expect to do that I've been putting off doing, but I reinstalled The Sims 4. And my friend was like, that is the most pure definition of self-care I have ever heard. And I was like, huh, self-care. So it kind of got me thinking about some of the stuff that I've read previously about self-care and kind of its importance for not just like your mental health, but emotional hygiene and just like general well-being. And I was thinking about how easy it is for especially those of us who kind of spend a lot of time trying to remove ourselves from ourselves, trying to get out of our own minds, if you know what I mean. It can be really easy to kind of overlook some of the easiest and most basic points of self-care. So I have a little checklist that I can go through that I think are some of the most important things. So they start out pretty simple. And then they get a little bit more kind of complicated as they go. It's not really numbered or anything. They're just like things that I thought of, things that I think are important. So let's get started. Have you eaten today? It's really easy to forget. Sometimes I'll find myself, it's 5 o'clock in the evening and I have not eaten anything yet today. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe that's why I feel so bad. When's the last time you had a glass of water? Not just because you're thirsty, but because it's good for you. So the thing is, if you wait until you're thirsty to drink water, you're already kind of dehydrated. So you should be drinking it kind of throughout the day, not just when you feel like you need it. When's the last time you took a shower? Be honest with yourself. Nobody else needs to know. I know how easy it is to sit there for a couple days, in the same clothes, and then you're real grody. I know, it happens. If you're on any medications, have you taken them all today? Are you taking them at the same time if you need to? Taking them as directed? When the last time you talked to a real person? Not just online or not just through a text or something. Even if it's as simple as going and ordering some food or a coffee or something and talking to the waiter or the barista or something, ask somebody how their day is. Have some kind of human contact, because that's kind of important to us. So whether you're in school or whether you're working or whether you're doing whatever you're doing, are you caught up on everything? Have you met all of your deadlines? Have you kind of planned everything out that you need to do? And if you're not caught up and if you need help, can you take on less work maybe? Can you get somebody to help you? Can you break them down into smaller tasks? Do you have anything in your life that you can declutter? So this would go as far as the most basic and general definition. Can you get rid of some stuff? And I shouldn't be talking about clutter because I'm the queen of clutter, okay? You can get rid of some clothes, you can donate some things if it, will help you feel a little better, clean up your space, help out somebody else. But you can also declutter your life in other ways. You can find ways to cut ties with relationships that are toxic to you, that feel like they're cluttering up your free time and your sense of worth to yourself. Those are all ways that we can kind of cut back, simplify. I just realized it looks like I'm what am I doing here? I'm just holding my tea. It's fine. When's the last time you took a day to yourself? It's pretty common that we get real wrapped up in work or whatever we're doing or social obligations or whatever it is, and we kind of forget to do things for ourselves and just spend a day kind of with ourselves and doing things that we want to do or things that we want to catch up on or things that we need to do, enjoy doing, whatever it is. We don't take enough time for ourselves. But on the opposite of that, sometimes we can take too many days to ourselves. So on that note, if you've taken too many of those personal care, self-care, mental health days, maybe you should look at getting back on track with whatever it is that your obligations are. Try not to get too comfortable in not actually accomplishing anything, because although it feels good in the moment, afterwards you're kind of like, well, I'm wasting my time. What am I doing with myself? And that's really kind of counterproductive to the thing that we're going for right now. So kind of in the line of getting out and talking to an actual person, when's the last time you really got out of the house? Like I said, even if you just go and you order something to eat or you get some coffee or something, just go take a walk, do something to kind of remove yourself from your current setting, especially if you've been there for a long time. Things can start to look real dark and real gloomy real fast. When's the last time you did a labor of love? So that can be, obviously, that for each person means its own thing. For me personally, it might be like working on a really intricate, annoying painting that I like really want to do, or it could be like knitting a blanket, or it could be taking on a new skill or learning something or anything like that. It's just something that you want to do. It's kind of labor intensive, so sometimes even though it's something you want to accomplish, you might be like, oh, well, I don't really have the time or I don't have the energy. The hardest thing is starting, and then once you're in it, it's a lot easier to continue. It's just you have to get up that kind of oomph to get going. Have you sorted out your goals? So this kind of again goes in line with having too many days to yourself or taking on too much at work. You have to really assess what you want to do and break it up realistically into goals that, you know, you have to finish today, you have to finish this week, this month, this year. Break things down into bite-sized pieces and definitely cross something off of that list. You have to, even if it's just as simple as, you know, going to the grocery store and getting something that you need, or it can be something that's really scary in a way. Like there's always stuff that kind of hovers on my to-do list that never gets done. And then finally when I actually do that one thing that's been there for months. Right now, I'll tell you what my one thing is right now. I have a reminder on my phone every day for about 2-3 months now at 7:30 p.m. It tells me that I have to write a letter to Air China. It's just like, I know that I have to get all this like flight detail information and go through all this like ABC XYZ stuff, and it seems like such an awful task that might be fruitless. Like I might not get what I need to get out of doing it, but I still need to do it and I just don't want to do it. So every day my phone tells me like, oh, in September you set a goal to do this and you haven't done it yet, so what are you doing? All right, and I think the last thing, do you say no enough? Do you say yes enough? And you have to say them accordingly. So for example, you know, even if you're not feeling too great, if you keep turning your friends down, you know, to go out and hang out or to get dinner together or whatever, you're kind of missing out on, you know, time that, although it seems daunting, it would probably be fun for you. So you should say yes to invitations like that every once in a while. Even if you don't really feel like it, in the end, you're probably gonna have a good time. But don't be afraid to say no to a lot of things. Like, for example, if your professor is trying to force you to teach his daughter and 20 of her friends English every single Saturday, and you don't want to do it, say no. Speaking from experience. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I try to keep in mind. I try and stay on top of those. They're mostly pretty basic. You can get a lot, you know, more complicated with your self-care. For me, sometimes it's installing The Sims 4 and sitting there and playing for a week straight. And that's fine. I feel like I deserve that time as long as I get up and get back to my responsibilities when that allotted time is over. And I mostly do, so it's fine. It's really fine. All right, guys, so enjoy the rest of your day, your night, whatever it is, and I will see you later. Bye. What in the world? Did I ask for an update? Hello? I have Wednesdays off. I have a plan. This was not in my plan. Something happened while it was installing Origin, and now Sims 4 has to re-download. Do you see that? Like, do you see that? I already spent like 7 hours on a different VPN downloading, and now I gotta do this again.